Okay, everybody. Hi, how you doing? It's a Monday night, and oh man, I went to get my tooth pulled today. I went to my 3 o'clock appointment, and they're like, "Oh, doc's not here. You're gonna have to reschedule." I didn't say anything. I just was like, "Okay." About Thursday, but I was in my head. I'm like, "What did I make the appointment for?" So really bummed out about that. I want this. It doesn't hurt, but it's bad. It's in there. My teeth are horrible. I have to deal with it. I'm trying to. I just want it out of my head. So, I'm going to talk about the last 2 episodes of the third season of Twin Peaks. I still have toys right here. They were great. Oh my god. I've seen, actually, through other reviews, I've seen the very last scene, images of this, but it didn't ruin it. I knew what was coming. Doesn't explain. I don't think it explained anything. They wrapped up the evil coop though, and that was really good. And then it ended back. Well, 18 episode 17 was more back to Twin Peaks. Everybody's there. Andy, Lucy, Bobby, the guy from Gladiator, the boxing movie, not the Gladiator. What's his name? The Native American guy. I can't remember his name. Truman, but it was Robert Forster as the brother of the old Truman, chief of police, and it was cool, or it was actually scary because Evil Coop goes to Twin Peaks and he meets Andy, and I was like, holy shit, is he just gonna kill Andy? But I got the feeling that Evil Coop was actually kind of happy to see them. A part of him, even his, how evil he is, still saw the goodness in the people of Twin Peaks, like Andy and Lucy, and even though it's a different Truman, the Chief Truman, it didn't seem like malicious because he was like kind of smiling. I was like, it seems like he's happy to see them. Then the real Coop comes in. Man, it was good. Like, what happened, I was okay. Everybody's okay. And then he goes on a road trip with Diane. Is that her name? Diane? What's her name from Jurassic Park? And they're just driving. And then he stops the car and they get out, and he saves Laura Palmer. He saved her. He like pulled her out of the time stream when she was in the woods with Bobby when they blew that dude's brains out. And then you see from like the first episode of season 1 where Jack Nance goes fishing and there's no body, there's no dead body. But then I'm already forgetting it. Then he goes to a house where Laura Palmer is, but she doesn't know she doesn't know she's Laura Palmer. And he takes her back to the house that she lived in Twin Peaks. And her mom's not there. Sarah Palmer's not there. And then she's standing outside the house, and she lets out one of her iconic screams, and it ends. And I was like, oh my god. I mean, I guess they got rid of Bob, the evil Bob, but it's just all new mysteries that I don't think can ever be solved unless I don't even think David Lynch knows. But it was good. Finally saw them all, and that's not much of a review, but they were really good. I keep forgetting there's an actor. Have you ever seen the movie Wild Thing? He was Wild Thing, and he's a good actor. He's always like really intense, always a good bad guy, and he was really good in this. I liked him. He was like a good guy. Him and Jim Belushi are brothers in it. They're like gangster casino guys. Whew. Yeah. So overall, Jesus, 4.5. Man, I'll just give it a 5 out of 5, man, for all 18 episodes. It's just really good. I would watch it again. If I saw it, I'd buy it if I saw it for cheap, but I could just get it from the library again. Oh man, that was a lot of. It was like 20 hours of stuff. So yeah, that's about it. But I have a letter. I got some stuff. I got this zine from Keith Dempey of Eternal Darkness, Devoured Death. It's from this guy in Australia. This is a really thick one, so it's gonna take me a little while to devour this. And I got a book from my good buddy Thomas, Hard as Nails, Dan Simmons. Let's see, if you're going to shoot Joe Kurtz, you better shoot to kill. XPI Joe Kurtz's survival is on the line when an ambush leaves him badly wounded and his parole officer Peg O'Toole barely clinging to life. Their respective professions have ensured that neither suffered from a shortage of enemies, so discovering which of them was the intended target isn't easy. But Kurtz knows who's at the head of his list: Angelino Ferrara, the lethal beauty who leads the Farino crime family, as well as her mob rival, Ice Cold Tom Gonzaga, who has his own dark history with Kurtz. The odd thing is, each wants to hire Joe Kurtz to find out who's been waging war beneath the cold gray skies of western New York. Until now, the casualties have been heroin junkies and their dealers. But now the shootings of Kurtz and O'Toole have drawn the notice of both the newspaper and the Buffalo PD detective Rigby King, who shared Kurtz's tough childhood in a Buffalo orphanage and who wants to put Kurtz back in prison. Or back in her bed. Even Kurtz's jaded past cannot prepare him for what he's about to learn, as he finds himself caught in an ever-tightening vice between the wounded and warring mob families and the cops, unaware that a maniac is waiting for his chance to strike. Wow, that sounds pretty good. I read the first, sentence. On the day he was shot in the head, things were going strangely well for Joe Kurtz. That kind of grabs you. Also, I got a letter from Keith, which I will read. Okay. 16 January 2024, Anno Tenebrae Aeternum. Hey Artie, how are you? Happy New Year, brother. How was your holiday? I hope it went well. Mine was pretty good. I've been having a lot of trouble with my eyes these past few months, but I can see out my left eye again, so I'm back to work with Eternal Darkness Creations. Thank you so much for the X-Men and the Predator comics. I actually have the first one of the Predator, and not the second one that you sent me, so it was a really cool surprise to get. Thanks, man. Before I forget, I wanted to ask you if you had the Escapism Unutterable Horror CD. I do have it. I think you're in touch with Evan Woolley too, so I wanted to double check. If you don't already have it, let me know. It's really good, and I have a bunch, and I'm placing in good homes, and none more appropriate than with Artie Flores. I put out a Graveworm tape over the holidays, another really limited one, so I wanted to make sure and to get you a copy. It actually came together really fast this time. I hope you like it. You gotta tell me how the Omen show goes. No problem at all recording you some Omen stuff. I listen to them to make sure they work and everything. I haven't listened to Omen in a long time, not by choice, of course. It's a real chip. Those guys are one of the bands from back then whose sound really touches on those feelings of nostalgia. You listen to them and you're suddenly 14 again. I'm really looking forward to seeing the new issue. I got a magazine recently I wanted to send you to. It's the guy from Crucifier. Remember them? They got back in touch with me recently and sent me a couple of copies of Devoured Death, and I immediately thought of you. No, I haven't heard any of the new Judas Priest, Bruce Dickinson, or Stryper. Thanks for the heads up. I always forget I can just check them out on the internet. I'm going to do that for sure. I still stand by some of Stryper's old stuff is really good metal. Do you watch Pawn Stars? I think it's a pretty good show until they start haggling on the price. Then I get bad flashbacks when I used to trade in records to get money for new ones. That's when I turned it off. Some of the stuff is interesting though. The reason I bring it up was the other week Robert Sweet from Stryper was in it. There was no question it was him. The guy has sort of a distinctive look. Plus, he said his name was Robert. They didn't even mention Stryper though. He was there trying to sell a poster for the Ronald Reagan movie signed by Dennis Quaid. I just scored some of the Death SS Curse Coven fan club CDRs from this fellow in Greece. I've wanted these for like 15 years now. It was a little more than I usually spend on records, but I had to get these. This letter was too long coming. My apologies for that. I'm going to get this wrapped up so I can get it out today. Thanks again for the comics. I can't believe you sent me the second issue of Predator. I finally have it. You rule, man. Take care for now, brother. Your friend, Keith. And somewhere in between where he sent me this package, I had sent him the new issue, and I sent him a big box of tapes, my TZ tape. I sent him a bunch of movies. I sent him some good stuff. I sent him Django Kill If You Live Shoot. I've seen it. It's pretty good, but I just like the original Django. I know there's a whole bunch of Djangos, and Django Unchained is okay, but the original Django is just, there's really no, like, that's the best Django movie you're gonna see. But I got more stuff. I didn't want to make this video too long, but I had to say something about, I got all the way, I reviewed all the episodes, and then I was like, I gotta say something about 17 and 18. But Hard as Nails, I'm reading Warbots right now. I should show that next video. But that's about it. Right to Keith, man. If you're into metal, I'll just say it till I can't say it anymore. He's got the best metal releases anybody is. Anything anyone is doing in metal, Keith's doing it better. So that's it. Hopefully, I don't know, I'll do another video before I get my tooth yanked out. I don't know if I'll be able to do one when I get it, but we'll see. And I'll see ya.